Welcome to Hacking Your Leadership. I'm Chris, and welcome to this week's Thoughtful Thursday. A huge thank you to everyone listening right now, especially those of you who tune in every Monday and Thursday. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Hacking Your Leadership and leave us a review on iTunes. Also, if you haven't checked out our new guest series that debuted last Saturday with Steven Shedletsky, the head of brand experience for Simon Sinek, you should give that a listen as well. All right, for this week's episode, I want to talk about significance. In the almost 25 years I've been in the workforce, I've had a few dozen different bosses, and I've worked alongside hundreds and hundreds of coworkers and colleagues. When I look back and try to pick out the people I consider to be leaders, I find they exist in both groups of people. Some of my bosses were undoubtedly leaders to me, though not all of them, and some of my peers and coworkers were leaders to me as well. On Hacking Your Leadership, Lorenzo and I have said many times that titles aren't needed to be a leader, and that many people with titles end up not being that great at leadership. But that's a pretty basic concept, and I think most people agree with it. What I've discovered about myself, however, mostly through trial and error, is that I often find leading easier when I don't have an official title. In the past, I've made the mistake of believing people reporting to me looked at me as a leader because that's what their behavior was telling me on the surface. But sometimes your title leads people to act a certain way in your presence while behaving completely differently when you aren't around. Your peers, however, are much less likely to follow your lead unless they truly believe in you. It's much easier to know where you stand with someone and to gauge the health of the relationship if neither person believes their career is dependent on that relationship. So if title truly has no impact on whether you're viewed as a leader by your employees and coworkers, what then does make the difference? What causes a person to start viewing another person as a leader? When I explored the different reasons I've had for considering a boss or a peer as a leader, and there are many, one thing seems to be shared by them all. One trait that, regardless of their other qualities and shortcomings, virtually always shows up. They all made me feel significant. So what is significance? At its basic definition, it's the quality of being worthy of attention. Think about the important people in your life. Your spouse or your partner, your children, your parents, siblings, close friends. If you're lucky, all those people are worthy of your attention, and in giving them the attention they deserve, you're making them feel significant. It works the same way with your peers wherever you work. Showing someone that they are worthy of your attention will make them feel significant in that moment. Do it often enough, and you'll create some very loyal working relationships. But here's the thing. Showing someone that they're worthy of your attention is not the same thing as paying attention to someone. Paying attention to someone just means listening to them and being respectful when they talk. When you show someone that they're worthy of your attention, you know a lot about them because you remember it from the previous conversations with them, and you use that information to help them reach their goals. And their goals could be small or they could be huge. The reason this works well is that people want to know that they matter. Not because of what they can do for your organization, but for the unique things they bring to the table that aren't found in their coworkers. An employee whose job duties are relegated to the skills they learned while on the job will, at best, feel like one cog in a machine with many cogs. Not necessarily unimportant, but definitely replaceable. However, an employee who is asked to contribute in a way that requires skills and experience they brought with them to the job will immediately feel more connected to the mission of the organization and also that they are significant. There are other ways to make a person feel significant too, noticing a behavior or an accomplishment that you wouldn't normally be in a position to notice, and then giving them specific feedback on what you noticed and why it was good. Asking them for help or advice on something that calls upon their skills, even going out of your way to tell them how much you appreciate them as a coworker. These things won't move the needle much on their own or as isolated incidents, but when practiced together and done often, they lead to precisely the outcome you want. All people want to feel significant. If you want people to view you as a leader, whether you have a title or not, you can't go wrong with doing this for others. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you on Monday.